Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryechu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshina Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipaya Namvyasam Sarvalokahite Ratam Vedabja Bhaskaram Vande Shamadhi Nilayam Munim Sahasramurte Purushottamasya Sahasranetranana Pada Bhaho Sahasranamam Stavanam Prashastam Niruchyate Janma Jaradi Shantyai. So namaste everybody once again.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaskaram Guruji.
Namaskaram. Vistarastava Pramanam Bijamavyayam Arto Narto Mahakosho Mahabhogo Mahadhanaha. So in the last class, we saw the meaning of Mahakosha and Mahabhoga. And now we will see the last nama of this sloka, the meaning of the last nama, Mahadhana. Mahadhana, very simple to understand, the one who has got great wealth. Dhana is wealth, Maha means great. But what is the kind of wealth being talked about is important. Adi Shankara says, mokshakyam mahat dhanam asyeti mahadhanaha. So he is here, the wealth we are not talking about is a wealth like, a lot of money and property and all. Here, Bhashikara says this Mahadhanaha, the Dhanaha refers to moksha. So he is the one who has got the greatest wealth, and that wealth is moksha. Because so far as the other wealth is concerned, the wealth with the, which we understand in a laukika drishtya, there is no end to collection of that wealth. The richest of the richest man in this earth is still not satisfied with the wealth that he has got. He wants more. And he keeps on finding ways and means to increase his wealth. And that's why they've got competition. The richest man in the in this world, or you have got the Forbes list. So many things are there. There is no limit to the accumulation of this kind of wealth, whether it is property, money, jewelry, gold, diamonds, whatever you kind of wealth. But there is one wealth, if you attain, there is nothing more to be attained. You have attained everything. And nobody can surpass you in that. And that wealth is moksha. And people go behind all these material wealth. They want more and more of that because they feel that that is the sukha sadhana. It's a means for gaining sukha. But Bhagavan is what? Bhagavan is the very means of attaining the ultimate end. Paramdhama hai. Ultimate abode. He is Ananda Swarupa hai. What more you can want? Once you have discovered Bhagavan, discovered the real nature of Bhagavan, and also discovered that your own real nature is no different than the real nature of Bhagavan, the happiness that you get is called moksha. Therefore, he is Mahadana. They're all slokas, pregnant with lot of profound meanings. Otherwise, to say, to understand Mahadana means one who has got great wealth. Of course, we can understand that also, because Mahavishnu, Lakshmi is what we called, wealth. Lakshmi Devi represents all wealth. The one who has got Lakshmi Devi with him, he can also be called Mahadana, and that way also we can understand Mahadana. So we can understand Mahadana both from Paramarthika Drishti as the very source of all happiness, or we can look at it as Ishvara also, as Saguna Ishvara who is with Lakshmi. So that way also is Mahadana. Then next sloka. Anirvinnasta Vishto Bhuhu Dharma Yupo Mahamakaha Nakshatra Nemi Nakshatri Kshamakshama Samihana. So this sloka again has got 10 namas. Anirvinnaha, Stavishtaha, Abhuhu, Dharmayupaha, Mahamakaha, Nakshatra Nemi, Nakshatri, Shamaha, Shamaha, Samihana. What is the word? Am I counting right? Anirvinna, Stavishtaha, Abhuhu, Dharmayupa, Mahamakaha, Nakshatra Nemi, Nakshatri, Shamak, Shama, Samihana. 10 namas are there. So Anirvinnaha means the one who is never tired. Avapta sarvakamatvat nirvedaha asya navidyate iti anirvinnaha, says Bhashyakara. So Bhagavan gets a lots of names because we try to understand him from our point of view. We are very used to all these names and forms, isn't it? But there are occasions, there are times when we, the jivas, lose the enthusiasm, become disinterested with our routine, the Monday to Friday routine, waiting for weekends, holidays, or otherwise also one who has worked for long years, 30 years, 40 years, is waiting for the day of retirement and so on. Why? Because we are all nirvinna. Nirvinna means we are all tired. We are subject to tiredness. One is fed up and dejected because in spite of struggling, one does not get what one wants. And that is why, many people take even voluntary retirement. They have been struggling for years together, still they have not reached what they want, and to say, okay, forget it, let me take some good amount of money which the company or the government will pay, let me take voluntary retirement. But look at Bhagavan, continuously working with no holiday or voluntary retirement schemes. Isn't it? One moment Bhagavan stops working, you can just visualize what will happen to this entire world. In fact, we can't even visualize that. We just take it for granted. This entire world for millions of years have been going on like this. The sun has been rising, the sun has been setting, earth has been moving. We don't even know, beginningless times this has been going on. And Bhagavan being the Srishti, Sthiti and Laya Karana has been making this happen every moment. So unlike us, Bhagavan is Anirvinna, never loses his enthusiasm or interest in what he does. And this is reflected in everything that we can experience in the nature. A plant never becomes tired of giving out flowers or fruits, or a tree, fruits, whatever, it never gets tired. Every cosmic entity that we experience just go on doing their job. It is only the human beings we become nirvinna. So there is something that we need to learn from all this nature. And why is it that we are nirvinna? Because we have got certain goals in life. We want to pursue those goals. We chase those goals. Relentlessly we chase those goals. We are never ever contented with what we have, and we want something more. But Bhagavan being Avapta Sarvakama, with all his desires fulfilled, he has no expectations and therefore no dejections. At the same time, he is Asangaha, untouched by what he does. Now, Puja Swamiji asks a question: would Lakshmi make him nirvinna, complaining that he has no time for her? The answer is no, because Lakshmi knows that she is not another entity separate from Bhagavan, clamoring for attention like many of the Lakshmis do. Always morning he wakes up, goes to the office, comes at night. He has no time for me, no time for our children. Always office, office, office. How many people of us we have heard these complaints? So as Lakshmi Narayana, she is one with him. Both are inseparable. And at the same time, being Asanga, Bhagavan is uninvolved in what is happening in the entire Jagat. He just keeps it going. That's it. And that is why he is Anirvinna. Never becomes tired, dejected, because he has to do so many things. Srishti is not an easy thing. To call a carpenter to make some furniture in your house and he's creating a furniture, you can imagine how much work that he does. The skill that he has got, we don't have. We can't create a furniture. Now just imagine the skill that Bhagavan has got and how much work that he has to do to create this entire world. Not only create, but to sustain it also. That is Anirvinna. Then Stavishtaha. Stavishta means the one who is manifest as the gross physical universe. Vairaja Rupena Sthitihi Stavishtaha. The word Sthula means bulky in the language, in Sanskrit language. And Stavishta means the most bulky. Ishtan Pratyaya. So Bhagavan is in the form of Virat, in the form of this entire cosmos, the physical universe with its order, and hence he is Stavishtaha. In fact, the Mundaka Upanishad describes his Virat form as Agnir Murdha Chakshushi Chandra Surya Dishaha Srotre Vag Vishwatascha Vedah Vayuh Prano Hridayam Vishwamasya Padbhyam Prithvi Hesha Sarva Bhutantaratma. This is the full description of the Virat form. And the Virat form we can see in Bhagavad Gita also. When Bhagavan is revealing his Vishwarupa Darshanam to Arjuna. So here, Agnir Murdha, the fire is his head. Chakshushi Chandra Suryav, the sun and moon are his eyes. Disha Srotre, the quarters, the directions are his ears. Vak Vishwatascha Vedaha, the Vedas are his speech. Vayuhu Pranaha, the air is his breath. Hridayam Vishwamasya, the universe is his heart. Padbhyam Prithvi Hesha, his feet are this entire, the earth is his feet. Sarva Bhutantaratma, he is the indweller of all beings. We have seen this same idea, same theme, when we saw the Dhyana Shlokas, isn't it? Bhupadavyasya Nabhihi. That's Dhyana Shloka. Same, that Dhyana Shloka is based upon in Mundaka Upanishad only. So, that way Bhagavan in his Virat form is Stavishtaha. So, Virat Rupena, Vairaja Rupena means Virat Rupena. Okay. Then the next Nama is Abuhu. Now, there are two readings for this Abuhu. Either you can take it as Abuhu or Buhu also, because the Sanskrit language gives opportunity to read it both the ways. Both readings are there. And which Bhagavan Bhashyakara Adi Shankara brings out. So he says Ajanma Abuhu. Ajanma means the unborn. Abuhu. So if we take Abuhu means the one who is unborn. Or the second one, if we take just Buhu, he says Athava Bhu Sattayam Ityasmat Quip Bhavanam Satta. So you can take as Bhu as may existence. Bhu Dhatu, Bhu Sattayam means to exist. Or there is one more meaning for Bhuhu, which is the earth. Mahiva, he says, Adi Shankara says. So Mahi also means earth. So the Sandhi rules of the language allow this Nama to be taken both as Abuhu and also Bhuhu. So Bhagavan, even though he is Tavishta and therefore is continuously born as one thing or the other, really speaking, he is never born. Hence he is Abuhu, the one who has no Janma, no birth. Because whatever we are seeing as being born is nothing but a manifestation of Bhagavan. We misunderstand it as birth. So he is Ajanma, Abu. We have seen this meaning also in those who are Bhagavad Gita students. We have seen that also, this meaning. Unborn. Or the other meaning is Bhavati iti Bhuhu. He is in the form of existence. He is Bhu. Again, he is Bhu, the one who is in the form of the earth. So that means the meaning also we can take. So among the five elements, Parameshwara is Bhu, the earth, in this context, in the context of this sloka. But what we have to understand is earth is here a Upalakshana standing for all the five elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, etc., Apa, etc. So all the Panchabhutas are nothing but Parameshwara only. So that way we can take it as Bhuhu or Abhuhu. Both ways we can take. Then Dharma Yupaha. Dharma Yupaha, actually Yupaha means a sacrificial post, which olden days they used to perform big yajnas and all that, where they used to sacrifice, like goats and all that. And for that they used to have a sacrificial post in the yajna area rather. That is called Yupaha. So Dharma Yupaha means the sacrificial post for dharmas. That is Bhagavan. Yupe Pashuvat Tat Samaradhanatmaka Dharma hai Tatra Bhadyante iti Dharma Yupaha, says Adi Shankara. So as I told you, Yupa is a sacrificial post that is used in rituals. Actually, if you actually probably Google it, you may be able to even see an image. Actually, it is made of wood and is octagonal in shape. And the sacrificial animals are bound to the sacrificial post. Similarly, the Lord is the Yupa, the resting place of all dharmas. And hence he is Dharma Yupa. All dharmas are centered on him only. That means what? Every dharma, every good quality like compassion, seva, ananda, dana, tyaga, ahimsa, peace, discipline, all these, whatever good quality you can think of is connected to Ishvara. Whereas the qualities like greed, jealousy, anger, so on, are all connected to the jiva. Selfishness, concern, fear, aggressiveness, competitiveness, indifference, unmindfulness. All these qualities which belong to the jiva or connected to the jiva, they all tend to make the jiva cut corners of dharma. Thus, there seems to be two yupas, one yupa of the jiva and another yupa of the Ishvara. So if a jiva, if he wants to live a life of dharma, a dharmic life, he should try to get rid of this jiva yupa and try to hold on to Ishvara, who is the dharma yupa. The more we bring in Ishvara into our life, the more we will be able to hold on to the Dharma Yupa, who is Ishvara, and the more dharmic our life will become. This is how, these namas have to be converted into practical life style for us. Every action, every time we start, we must reflect, is this dharmic, what I am doing? By witnessing what I am doing, will Ishvara be happy? Consider Ishvara to be Dvaitam only. Be in Dvaitam, no problem. Because only through Dvaitam we can go to Advaitam. That's what we tell our children also, isn't it? Bhagavan is watching. Don't do all these things. Many times the parents tell the children, you can hide things from us, but you cannot hide things from Bhagavan because he is always watching. That lesson which we try to inculcate in our children, we should also follow. We must also, whenever we do anything, we must have that understanding that whatever I am doing should be dharmic because Bhagavan is watching. It's a figurative speech, Because if we don't lead a dharmic life and we lead a adharmic life, we cut corners because of all these, what we can call the kama krodha and all that, gives rise to all adharmic activities. What will happen? Bhagavan will just apply the law of karma and give us the, the result as papas only. We are the one who is going to suffer because of that. That's why by understanding Bhagavan, Ishvara as the Dharma Yupa, we hold on to that Ishvara for everything, every movement of our life. That is Dharma Yupa. Mahamakaha. Mahamakaha, the one who makes a sacrifice great. Yasmin arpita makaha yajnaha nirvana lakshana phalam prayachantaha mahantaha jayante sa mahamakaha. The word maka in the language means a yajna. Yajna means a sacrifice. And yajna being a karma is always performed for a result. Even if it is performed for Chitta Shuddhi, that result also is desired rather. So what is the greatest result that Bhagavan can give for our yajnas? The greatest result that he can give is moksha. And what is moksha? Limitlessness. What is Bhagavan? He is also limitless. So through these yajnas, Bhagavan is giving himself to us. If the yajna is performed properly as per the shastric injunctions, then the very yajna is arpita, offered unto him. One gains chitta shuddhi, and in course of time, one gains jnana, and thereby one gets Bhagavan himself, that is moksha. So all the yajnas are ultimately meant only for gaining the knowledge of Bhagavan. So by giving himself, that is the limitlessness as the result, he makes the Makha Mahan, the ritual great, and hence he is Mahamakaha. The next nama is Nakshatra Nemihi. Nemihi means the center of the nakshatras. Our solar system, as you know, is considered to be one end of the nakshatra samuha or the Milky Way. Those of us, who are lucky enough to live in a place where it is totally pitch dark at night. No light anywhere, far distance also. They will be fortunate enough to actually see the Milky Way in the sky. A beautiful belt, on the sky. I have seen it. That's why it's such a wonderful sight. I used to live in a small place when I was in the banking career. And there used to be 18 hours of power cut in that place. Only 4 to 6 hours power we used to get. Most of the nights there won't be any power. So you can imagine, it's in North India, how hot it will be at night. So we used to sleep on the terrace, on the top of the building rather. At least some breeze or something will come. Of course, that has got its own downside. There has been lots of mosquitoes. So we used to have mosquito net and things like that, and all fully prepared, put all sorts of repellent, mosquito repellent and all. And then at night, our hobby was to watch the Milky Way and also look at the whole night sky and try to identify the various constellations. Such a beautiful experience, very few people are, if you are living in a town or a city, there is no way you can get that experience. So the Milky Way, when we understand see the Milky Way, and Milky Way is only one samuha of so many samuhas which are there in the cosmos. And in that Milky Way, our solar system is a very tiny system. So just imagine when you see all these things, you see the vastness of the ocean, you see the height of a mountain, you see the Milky Way, all these vast things, you really become very humble rather. It brings a lot of humility. And what is that humility? Is nothing but Bhagavan only. And therefore, Bhagavan is the name or the center around which all these nakshatras, all these systems and planets, everything revolve around. And if you understand what is the center, like in a chariot wheel, what is the center? The center does not move. Center is fixed, but around the center, the whole wheel moves like that. All the nakshatra nemihi here, nakshatra here refers to all constellations and all heavenly bodies in the entire cosmos. Even the moon is considered to be a nakshatra. The planets, the sun, the moon, other stars, which are all moving, because the Milky Way itself is moving. It's a beautiful form, the Milky Way, And I think if those of you who are old timers, if you had seen the Doordarshan initially, their signature tune used to come with a certain logo. And that logo, in my view, is the Milky Way, the way the Milky Way is, like a semicircle, two semicircles rather. Beautiful sight it is. So the planets, sun, moon, stars, etc., which are all moving, are in the form of a wheel in the galaxy. And the Dhruva Nakshatra is said to regulate the motions of the systems. That's why it's called Dhruva. That doesn't move. At the center of the wheel of all the luminaries is Vishnu. He is the one who makes the wheel rotate and exists as the axle. That is why he is Nakshatra Nemi. Then Nakshatri. Nakshatri means the Lord of the stars. Chandra Rupena Nakshatri, says Adi Shankara. If the Lord is Nakshatra Nemi and all the nakshatras are around him, around the Lord, are they separate from him? The answer is no. Why? Because Bhagavan is manifest in the form of the nakshatras also. Like the Dehi, who is the indweller of the Deha, Bhagavan is Nakshatri. And here the reference is to the moon. But we have to, it's again Upalakshana for all stars, all heavenly bodies. So as the moon, he is the Lord of the nakshatras. And in Bhagavad Gita, in 10th chapter, Bhagavan says, while describing his glories, Bhagavan Krishna says, Nakshatranam aham shashi. Among the stars, I am the moon. Among all the luminary bodies, I am the moon. So there itself he is revealing that the moon is the glory of Bhagavan. By seeing the moon, we can understand that the glory of Bhagavan exists in the form of all the luminaries in the cosmos. Moon is the nearest one to us. So that is why he says Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. So that is Nakshatri. Then Kshamaha. Kshamaha has got two meanings. The one who is patient and also the one who is efficient. Kshamate iti Kshamaha. Sarva karyeshu samartha iti Kshamaha. Both meanings he says. In Valmiki Ramayana, Sri Rama is said to be Shamaya Prithvi Samaha. In patience, he is like the earth. This comes in Balakanda. Because if we see the earth, it puts up with all various atrocities that we pile upon on the earth. Mining. If you go to Coimbatore and all, you will see so many big pits. They have just removed the earth from those places to make bricks. There's brick kilns and all up there. We pollute this earth like anything. We don't even think of it. We trample on this earth. For generations, we have been trampling on the earth, jumping on it. But without thinking about all these, the earth puts up with all these things. So that is why, if we have to compare patience, earth is given as an example. The patience of the earth. And same thing with the Lord. Whatever we may do, the Lord is also full of patience. So when we actually meditate on the Lord, we try to discover the Lord, we try to understand the Lord. One quality that we can actually absorb is this patience. It is the Lord from whom we have to draw patience. Hence, he is called Kshama, the patient one. Because when you want something, you go to the one who has got a lot of it, isn't it? And the Lord is full of patience. He puts up with all these things. People abuse the Bhagavan. People do so many things. Films also are made. One hero will go inside a temple and say, I have never asked you anything till now. But today I am asking you. If you don't give it, I will never visit you. Otherwise, all threatening Bhagavan like that. We do everything, but patiently he takes on everything. So he is Kshama. And he is Kshama also because he is efficient in all his actions. Like the creation of this wonderful universe, sustaining this wonderful universe right at that time. Let the season come, you get mangoes. Let the season come, you get the flowers. Everything exactly at that relevant time, he makes it happen. That is efficiency. Rains come at those seasons. Unfortunately, we human beings are now trying to poke holes in one Bhagavan's scheme of things. And the law of karma will act. Not the Vyashti karma, Samashti karma will act. And we will get a tsunami, we will get an earthquake and all that will happen. If we respect nature, nature will respect us. If we help nature, nature will help us. If we try to play havoc with nature, nature will play havoc with us. That is the rule of law. That's the law of karma. बोया पेड़ बबूल का आम कहां से पावे, says Kabir. If you sow the seed of a papaya tree, from where can you get mangoes? You will get papaya only. You can't get mango. So this we have to understand, that every action that we do will invite a similar kind of action. If it is something negative we do, we will certainly get back negative only. Don't ask me, but Newton says, or it is Newton, right? Every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. That is physics law, not the cosmic law. Law of karma says every action that you do will have an equal and same reaction you will get, same result you will get. So he is Kshamaha. Then Kshamaha. Kshamaha means the emaciated. Sarva vikareshu, shapiteshu, swatmana avastita iti Kshamaha. Now here the reference is to Pralaya. At the time of Pralaya, when everything is resolved, only the Lord as the Atma is left behind. Hence, while manifest as the universe, he is said to be the Stavishta, bulky, which we have already seen. And when the world is completely withdrawn, it becomes unmanifest. He is said to be Kshama, the emaciated. Then Samihanaha. Samihanaha, the one who functions well. Srishtyadyartam samyak ihate iti Samihanaha. See, to accomplish an end or a goal, we have to perform some action, right? So the desire and the effort that is put in is called ihana. Ihana. That is called the desire and the effort put together. And one has to use the minimum time, minimum resources, minimum manpower, and minimum effort. But at the same time, the amount should be adequate and appropriate to achieve whatever is to be achieved, isn't it? So that is Samyak Ihana, the optimum and efficient functioning. And Bhagavan does all his actions like creation and so on very well, as I said just now, at the right time, but with minimum effort needed for achieving what he has to achieve. Therefore, he is Samihana. And again, this is another value which we have to learn from Bhagavan by invoking him with this nama, Samihana. So whatever we do in our own life, whatever we want to achieve, we have to be mindful that we achieved it in a very efficient manner. And what is efficiency? Minimum time, minimum resources, minimum manpower, minimum effort to get the maximum benefit. That is efficiency. So this is Samihana. That completes this sloka. Go to the next sloka. Yajna ijyo mahejyascha kratus satram satam gatihi sarvadarshi vimuktatma sarvagyo jnanamuttamam. Again another sloka with 10 namas. Yajna ijya mahejya kratuhu satram satangatihi sarvadarshi vimuktatma sarvagnya jnanamuttamam. So yajna means the one who exists as all rituals. We have seen this meaning just now only. Sarva yajna swarupatvat yajna. Then sarvesham devanam tushtikarakaha yajnakarena pravartate itiva. And Adi Shankara quotes from Taittiriya Samhita, Yajno vai Vishnuhu iti shrutehe, to bring out this meaning of this word yajna. So Bhagavan is yajna because he alone is in the form of all the yajnas. Just now we saw that. In the Vedas, the word yajna is used in the sense of a fire ritual. in the sense of a yaga, like Soma Yaga and Putra Kameshti Yagya, all that, it's all some fire ritual. But the word yajna is a very comprehensive word. And there are different kinds of yajnas which are talked about in the Shastra. Even an ordinary prayer can be considered as a yajna. Doing charity or giving, engaging oneself in charitable activities is a yajna. Even doing one's own duty is a yajna. Like that, every action is a yajna. That's why, Swami Chinmayananda used to call his Bhagavad Gita talks as what? Jnana yajna. Everything is a yajna. It has to be done with the proper attitude. When every action is done with the proper attitude, it becomes a yajna, an offering to God. If oblations are offered daily to the deities, it is Deva Yajna. In fact, every day, all people who are Dvijas, who have been put this, who have got this Upanayanam, are supposed to perform what they called Brahma Yajna. This is to be done immediately after the Madhyana Sandhya Vandana. Brahma Yajnam consists of 4 yajnas within that itself. And the important part of that Brahma Yajna is Deva Rishi Pitri Tarpanam. Swami Paramarthananda keeps on discussing this one thing, Panchamaha Yajnas. Panchamaha Yajnas one needs to do every day. Deva Yajna, Deva Tarpanam, Pitri Tarpanam, Rishi Tarpanam. Every day one has to do. After doing the Brahma Yajna. So these are all there in the scriptures. So everything, when you do it with that attitude of an offering, whether it is to the Devatas or to the Rishis or to our own Pitris, our forefathers, our ancestors. So every day you can do Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, and also this Rishi Yajna. Then Manushya Yajna and Bhuta Yajna are the 2 things left. Manushya Yajna you can do by feeding 1 person every day. Just 1 person, feed him. Some poor person who is actually doesn't have the means to have a 1 square meal a day. Find out such person and feed him. Manushya Yajna. That's why in olden days they used to have this Atiti Devo Bhava. Before these people eat, the householder eats, he will go and look for people, yatris or sannyasis, whoever is there, they will first feed them and then only they will eat. Manushya Yajna. Then Bhuta Yajna, just plant, 1 plant is there, water that plant. Bhuta Yajna. That's why we use, all of us, if we can't have big plants, at least 1 tulasi keep, in their house, and every day 1 small glass of water pour for the tulasi. Because it is only in the human being, in the human birth, Bhagavan can actually delegate his role of sustaining this world, this sthiti. He can only delegate to human beings. On my behalf, you take care of this entire world. All this is my srishti. You take a small part and take care of that. Everybody does it. The entire world can take care of it. That is why Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam we can call ourselves. Vasudhaiva Eva Kutumba. That is how our attitude towards everything that we do should be. So if food or other help are offered to fellow human beings with a proper attitude, it is Manusha Yajna. When it is offered to other living beings, it is Bhuta Yajna. In this summer, just keep a small cup of water outside in your balcony for the thirsty birds to drink that water. Bhuta Yajna. Excuse me. So that's why I said the scriptures talk about these Panchamaha Yajnas, the 5 Yajnas, Mahayajnas, which have to be performed every day. If you do that, you are leading a Vedic life. 3 times Sandhya Vandanam, Madhyanam followed by Brahma Yajnam. This is the simple formula, especially for retired people. What else they don't want? Whole day is available with them. This much minimum we can all do, isn't it? And even in the Gita, the word Jnana Yajna is used in the sense of study of Shastra, and that is why Swami Chinmayananda uses Jnana Yajna. Because the study of the Shastra itself is a Yajna. What we are right now performing in this class is nothing but a Yajna only. Teaching becomes a Yajna on the part of the teacher. The study is a Yajna on the part of the student. Daily recitation of the Veda mantras, not all of them, at least one suktam you recite, is Swadhyaya Yajna. Japa, the repetition of the name of the Lord becomes Japa Yajna. Thus, there are various Yajnas are there. What is important for any action to become a Yajna is the attitude of offering. I am doing this action and offering unto the Lord. The moment you have that attitude, that action becomes a Yajna. So anything that is offered unto Ishvara should be done with an awareness of Ishvara. If it is done with an attitude of Arpana, as an offering to Ishvara, as I said, it becomes a Yajna. Or else, with an awareness of Ishvara, when something is done, because it is to be done, it is your dharma, it becomes your dharma. So Ishvara can be propitiated in the form of dharma. And Ishvara in the form of dharma creates for all of us a certain swadharma. Bhagavan Krishna will talk about swadharma in Bhagavad Gita. At a given place and time, you have to do something, and that becomes the mandate of Ishvara, as though, because mandate of Ishvara as though. Because dharma is very rigorous. If you do not do it, then there will be dereliction of duty. So the awareness of Ishvara in the form of dharma is required to live a life in the form of yajna. Once we do that, the whole life becomes one big Mahayajna. When you perform all your duties at the correct time and place, with an awareness of Ishvara who is in the form of dharma, that is swakarma, one's own karma, and that becomes very evident, and it becomes an offering to Ishvara. So all actions which are in conformity to Ishvara are also yajna. The Lord himself is in the form of yajna. Therefore, Bhagavan becomes yajna in the form of dharma. Gita 3rd chapter, Bhagavan says, Nityam Kuru Karma. Do the actions that are to be done. Yajnanartham, as an offering to Bhagavan. Therefore, with the awareness of Ishvara, if we all do our daily duties, then those daily duties themselves become yajna, because Bhagavan is in the form of yajna. Yajno vai Vishnuhu. That is why Adi Shankara quotes this Vedic statement. And in the Vishnu Sahasranamam, the statement that Lord Vishnu is in the form of yajna is presented as a nama for the Lord. That is how we connect. This Nama Yajna is taken directly from the Vedas. And also Adi Shankara brings in one more meaning here, which I read. Sarvesham Devanam Tushtikaraka Yajnakarena Pravartate Itiva. So the other meaning that Adi Shankara gives for this Yajna is he pleases the Devas in the form of Yajna. That is why he is called Yajna. So that is about Yajna. Then Ijyaha. We talk Bhagavan is Yajna. Ijyaha means the one who is worshipped through the Yajna. Yashtavyopi ayameva iti Ijyaha. So if the Lord is in the form of Yajna, who is the one who is propitiated by the Yajna? The one who is Ijya. The one who is to be worshipped through the Yajna is also the Lord Vishnu alone. He is the one who is worshipped in the form of the Devas and Pitris, and he accepts the offerings. So here Adi Shankara quotes from Harivamsha Purana. Ye yajanti makaihi punyaihi devata din pitrunapi atmanam atmana nityam Vishnu meva yajantite. So what here Adi Shankara is quoting from this Harivamsha Purana is whether people worship the Devatas or Pitris through various rituals that give punya, or they contemplate on the Atma, they do Nitidhyasanam. All of them worship the Lord alone. That is Ijyaha. We can take one or two more. Then Mahejyaha. Mahejya is the greatest object of worship. Sarvasu devatasu yashtavyasu prakarshena yashtavyaha mokshapala datritvaditi Mahejyaha. Very interesting. With reference to various results that one wants to get through karma, Lord Vishnu is Ijya, the one who is to be worshipped, that we have just now seen. If one wants moksha, even then he is Ijya. One may continue to perform the ritual, but what one desires is moksha. Then the question is, what is the connection between rituals and moksha? So even though moksha is not the direct result of a ritual, still paramparaya, by succession, by following the order, it is connected to the ritual. By rituals and prayers, we gain chitta shuddhi, and by that we prepare ourselves for jnana, and the jnana delivers moksha. So that karma itself then takes you to the teacher. If you have done those karmas, if you have performed these rituals with the right attitude, what that does karma does? It's a beautiful thing. It will take you automatically to a right teacher, and the teaching also becomes very clear to you. That is the beauty of this chitta shuddhi. Even as you study the Shastra, if you continue to do the rituals, then the daily rituals and prayers will gain you more and more, chitta shuddhi, and it will help you to gain moksha. Of course, moksha will not come through rituals, it will come only through knowledge, through the Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam. This is a particular way of saying, because depending upon our attitude, everything gets connected to the moksha. So the karma is initially done for chitta shuddhi. Then when it is done with chitta shuddhi, the same karma gives moksha as a result, because that karma is done for the sake of moksha alone. Bhagavan may give all other phalas through various devatas, but moksha is given directly. Since he gives moksha, Bhagavan is higher than all other deities. Hence, he is Mahejya. He is the one to be worshipped through yajna with care and devotion. We'll stop here and continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Hari
Thank you,
Om,
Guruji.
Dhanyawad Guruji.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवादः.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Premaji, can go ahead.
Thank you, Guruji. Today, my question is a confusion for the Mahayajya to be receiving a sacrifice of an innocent, helpless, timid
We're talking about
goat.
Dharma Yupaha.
Yeah, we are talking about the Yupa. I'm talking about the person who is receiving it and giving the benefits as Ijya. So when a timid, helpless little goat is given as a sacrifice and it's called a yajna, somewhere there is a little bit of a trouble in my mind.
Correct.
So could you please
But the Dharma
explain that?
Yupaha did not. See, the word Yupaha is used as Dharma Yupaha because the word Yupaha is used, the meaning of Yupaha is a sacrificial post, right? But that does not mean that here we are advocating a sacrifice of animal animal. He is the post, because that, see, what is that post meant to? That the animal is tied to that so that he cannot go away. So Bhagavan here is called Dharma Yupaha, that all dharmas are tied to Bhagavan. There's nothing to do with the sacrifice, because the word Yupaha, we have to understand what is a Yupaha. That is explained as the sacrificial, whatever it is, that pillar or whatever they say, right? But here there is no sacrifice or anything which is referred to in the context of what we are understanding.
But anything that is constrained means it's
no, it is
movements.
not constrained. It is the one who is, it is tied to that. All dharmas
just the
are,
post.
all dharmas are tied to Bhagavan as though it is a Yupaha. Bhagavan is the Yupaha for all dharmas. That is all is there. So what we have to understand is, if we want to have dharmic life, what we have to do? We have to catch hold of Bhagavan, because he is the one who is the treasure of all dharmas. That is what we have to understand. Here, no, the reference to that sacrificial post is only for the purpose of understanding the meaning of the word Yupa. That's all.
Yeah, but the sacrificial lamb is what is being used to get the benefits for the persons who are doing the yajna.
Correct.
How does it become justified?
No, there is no justification. Nobody is trying to justify anything, because that is a totally different context and different thing. For justification of that, if at all it can be justified, one needs to understand the yajna, one needs to read the Veda mantras, what those mantras say, why they should be sacrificed, and what is the result of the sacrifice. All those things we have to go into all the Purva Bhaga, Veda Purva Bhaga, and understand all that.
So how will it classify himsa or ahimsa? It is himsa to kill that little animal.
That what you are raising is a very relevant, pertinent question, but that is not the subject matter of discussion, because himsa is not again a very absolute value. You must understand that. Nothing in Sanatana Dharma, no values are absolute. If Himsa was an absolute value, Bhagavan Krishna would never ever have told Arjuna to go and fight and kill people. Right? So everything we have to understand with lot of maturity. These questions, Himsa being, Ahimsa and all, what happens is people with certain, half knowledge, I would probably call it, without going into it. In fact, I actually referred to one of the earlier classes. Of course, we have come to 78 classes. Initially, when we were talking about, I talked about Dharma Rahasyams. Do you remember that?
No.
Look up. There is
I'll look it up.
Rahasyam, Dharma Rahasyam.
Hmm.
That Dharma Rahasyam can be used because there are certain exceptions in the dharmas. Telling lie, telling a lie for a greater good is a Dharma Rahasyam. But you and me cannot use the Dharma Rahasyam unless we follow the Dharma up to the hilt.
Okay.
I have explained this. Sri Rama used this Dharma Rahasyam, right?
Yeah.
When he was being sent to the Vanavasam, his chariot, there Dasharatha was crying, hey, don't go, you are the part and parcel of me. If you go away, I will die and all that. But for Rama, that was the utmost, duty, that I have to obey my father. He has told me to go, I will go to the forest. Now his charioteer, Dasharatha told the charioteer, don't move the chariot. Charioteer had a problem because Dasharatha is the king. He is not the son of the king like Rama. So he told Rama, see, my king is ordering me not to move the chariot and you are telling me to go to the chariot. Then Rama tells him, if the king, he asks, if I will drop you in the forest, I will come back. King will ask me, when I am crying, I am shouting at you not to take the chariot. Why did you do it? What should I say? You tell him that I did not hear you what you said. Total blatant lie. Bhagavan Rama is telling the charioteer to do. Right? Now everybody will question. Rama can say all lies, and only we say it is not, especially children. If you tell all these stories, this is not told to everybody. This Dharma Rahasyams, there are Rahasyams. And Bhishmacharya himself in his Vishnu Sahasranamam, he will talk about this. In the Dhyana Stokas, when we studied, I have talked about this Dharma Rahasyams. In one context, Yudhishthira uses this Dharma Rahasyam. Bhagavan Krishna uses this. They can use it because they are exceptions. They are prime ministers, they have got certain powers, which is not available for all common people. So, if we have to understand what is it not ahimsa, killing a goat and all, is a very relevant question from our point of view. But unless we study the Vedas, we study those yajnas, we study the bhashyams of those yajnas, because bhashyams are meant for that only, to look at a particular mantra, a particular practice from all angles, from all standpoints, and there we will certainly find why that sacrifice is to be made. So that is how it is. I mean, we are talking about sacrificing a goat or sheep or whatever it is, because we identify that as a living being, correct? But is it fine for us to sacrifice plants and trees and wood and all that? That is also living being only. So once you actually look at a bigger picture, and even when we are actually the summit that we offer in the fire, many times the summit will have small insects and all that in that. Do we sit and clean the insects and all that, find whether insect is there? Inside the summit, there will be some worms and insects. We will offer it. So that is a sacrificial, offering. So what we have to do is distance ourselves from all these kind of, ideas that have been put in our mind and try to understand our scriptures properly. And then if these questions come up, we can seek, so from Paramacharya or Adi Shankaracharya, or not Adi Shankara, our Shankaracharyas who are there, who are all very learned people. We can ask these questions to them. Even I don't know the answers because I have not studied the Purva Bhaga of Vedas. For me, as a Vedantin, as a practitioner, as a Moksharthi, all these are irrelevant for me. Simple. In my day-to-day life, I will make sure that I don't cause ahimsa. And if at all I am forced to cause himsa, there should be a very good reason for me to cause himsa. That is what I am worried about. Otherwise, I will feel that I am leading a dharmic life without causing any ahimsa to any being, be it animals or plants or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
but
But is there a small text or something available to know this rahasyam?
No. This rahasyam, no text will tell you. Rahasyams are all told by only gurus in the parampara.
Okay.
I learnt about this from Swami Omkarananda.
It's a good source.
Swamiji has not talked about it. Swami Sadatmananda doesn't talk about it. Swami Paramarthananda has not talked about it. But Swami Omkarananda, because Omkarananda, one thing I must say, he was such an erudite scholar both on the Purva Bhaga as well as the Uttara Bhaga. It's a great loss for all of us losing Omkarananda through this COVID.
Yes.
So Swami Omkarananda was a very great scholar and he has studied the Bhashyam of the Veda Purva Bhaga also. He has read Jaimini commentary and whatever commentaries are there. They are all available there. So then his talks in Vishnu Sahasranamam, which I listened to, from which I learned, he talks about this Dharma Rahasya. And that is
I will look for it. I will look for it, Guruji.
Look for it. I mean, it is still available in the YouTube. What you should look for it is in the Dhyana Slokas of Swami Omkarananda. Those, I don't know which part, because there are lot of videos are there. Dhyana Slokas itself is about 20-30 videos are there. But he talks about this Dharma Rahasyam in that. Whatever examples I have quoted of Yudhishthira or Rama, or examples quoted by Swami Omkarananda only. That is what I am sharing with you. Otherwise, I have not studied any of them.
No, thank you. It really is interesting.
Yeah, it's
and
very
good to know.
deep. See, our culture is so deep, we can't try to understand our culture on the surface of it. You will not get anything. It's like an iceberg. What we see on the surface is only a small portion. Inside, there's so many things.
Right.
And of course, we must be careful in trying to understand. We must not dismiss it, but we should try to understand, probe into it. That is how the truth will come out. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Any other questions? No more questions. Anyhow, next information, next class will be from Coimbatore. Tomorrow I am returning to Coimbatore.
Okay.
That's for your information. Tomorrow night I'll be in Coimbatore. Okay. Hari Om. Thank you very much.
Hari Om,
Thank you.
Guruji.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.